Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just thought I'd pop on this evening after reading some stuff in the news just before coming home from work that's kind of riled me up a little bit. It's a subject that's quite close to my heart. Just so you know a little bit of background about me. I used to be in the army and I'm the second generation of 4 generations of military people in my family. My parents both served in the army. I did. So did my husband, he's just left recently, and my son has been in the army 2 years now. The relevance to this is, I read on the news earlier that Jeremy Corbyn has come out to say he thinks that the young ISIS bride, Shemima Begum, or whatever it is she's called, should be allowed to come back into the UK and she needs support. Now, I've never had many good things to say about Jeremy Corbyn because personally, I think he's literally a wild cannon, and I knew things would go sort of awry when he became a party leader. And I'm a big believer in there's no smoke without fire, and you've always seen pictures of him with members of the IRA years ago. Now, apparently these pictures were, just taken at an inopportune moment to just catch him with these people. Now, unless someone went back in time and realised that he was going to become a party leader one day, that's clearly crap. He hung out with these people. Pictures prove it. Anyway, I digress. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't waste 7 years of my life going away from my family and defending my country for the likes of someone like her to throw away her freedom like a piece of rubbish, and after 4 years decide that she's had enough and it's too hard and she doesn't like it, and 2 of her children have died and now she wants the 3rd one to be safe. Don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with her child. I'm a mother of 3. Her child didn't ask to be born. It didn't ask to be caught up in this massive media circus. I don't have an issue with her child. Don't have an issue with Muslims at all. I just want to state that I don't have an issue with Muslims. I've served with Muslims. I have some friends who are Muslims. I don't have an issue with them. Do have an issue with extremists. She was clearly radicalised at a young age somehow. Her parents didn't know about it. She managed to escape the country with 2 of her friends at 15. She managed to get through an airport. She had her passport. Personally, I'm not quite sure how that happens. I'd like to think I'd know if my 15-year-old was doing something dodgy and taking her passport and suddenly shooting off somewhere. But hey, I could be wrong and naive. Anyway, and just one more point that really annoys me. They're calling her Shemima Begum. That isn't her name anymore. She's married. She married a Dutch IS fighter. That isn't her surname. So unless there's sneaky things going on out there, that's not what her passport will say anymore. Also, her child isn't a British citizen. He wasn't born in this country. And the father's Dutch. So unless they can magic a passport from somewhere, the child wouldn't be able to get back in this country legally either. Now, we all know that when we leave the country and go on holiday, even when our papers are in order, we come back in and we have the authorities crawling up our backsides, wanting to search our bags, making sure we haven't got anything dodgy or done anything dodgy. Now, why should we have to go through things like that if someone like her can just walk back in? I'm hoping that this is all rubbish and it's not going to be allowed to happen. And before anyone else wants to chime in and say, well, no one forced you to join the army, no one forced your husband or your son. No one forced us. It was a career choice. It was a career choice that we made willingly. And yes, you make this choice and you go in knowing you may be sent away from your family for 6 months at a time and you may not come back. I spent many hours sat watching the TV when the Iraq War kicked off, watching coffins come off a plane. And I was pregnant with my 3rd child and my husband was away and I didn't know if he was going to make it back. But I didn't go through all that, all those lonely times, and he didn't go through all those times, to watch someone who threw the freedom away that he was fighting for, just to decide, oh no, I've had enough now, I want to come home. There are too many people who have given up so much that this shouldn't be allowed. You know, we have Commonwealth soldiers, we have Gurkhas that have fought beside the British Army for years and years, and they don't have the freedom or security that she threw away. They fought for years to just be included and get some sort of recognition for what they've done to be allowed to stay in this country. And they're not. You know, they would be forever grateful for something that she just threw away. This is why these things wind me up. This is why I felt the need to just come on and talk about it, because it's something that's very close to my heart, and I'm just so annoyed at how the politicians just come out and say stupid things without thinking about the ramifications to the normal people. You know, all the parents of the children that died in that bombing last year at the Ariana Grande concert, how would they feel? You know, they were killed by a suicide bomber. You know, something that this girl thinks is fine. And who's to say she's not going to come back in this country and get to other people and talk to them about what she's experienced and what she's seen? She was clearly radicalised. It's always the same when anything happens in this country. Weeks afterwards, the press come out and say all these people being watched. After Lee Rigby was killed, God rest him, weeks later they came out and said, oh, these people had been on the radar. We'd been watching them. Really? Watching them from where? America? Because they clearly weren't watching them close enough, were they? If they were allowed to run around freely and murder someone in broad daylight. So who's to say the same wouldn't happen for her? You know, they bring her back in. They watch her for a little while, because they're clearly not going to lock her up. They watch her for a little while and poof, she suddenly disappears without a trace. And then suddenly pops up somewhere after going underground, and she's radicalised God knows how many 15-year-old girls. You know, what are we doing? Our country's going to the dogs at a rapid rate of knots. While we have control and we can stop people coming back and doing stuff like this, we need to put a stop to it. Now, I'm not a politician, I'm just a normal person. I'm a working mother, and I'm someone that likes to use this forum to say what I'm thinking. I just wanted to put it out there and see what everyone else thinks. You know, come back, tell me your thoughts, tell me what you think about it. I'm not trying to change the world. I just wanted to put it out there that I think that this is wrong. She needs to stay where she is or get someone else to take her in, but I want to be able to sleep safely in my bed at night. And if my son has to go away anywhere in the future, it needs to be because there's a real danger from another country, not because there's a danger from people in our own country. Okay, so I think I've covered it all, and I'm feeling a little better after getting it out there. If you've got any opinions on this, please feel free to comment below. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe to my channel. I'm hopefully going to come back soon with something a bit more positive and upbeat, maybe a tutorial. I'm not quite sure yet. If you've got any thoughts on what you'd like me to do, please click below. Okay, bye guys.